Thinking about moving to Boulder, Colorado and want to know the pros and cons of living there? Well, that's exactly what this video is for. Let's get started. Hi there, Christy Lee here, and I am a local real estate agent in the state of Colorado, but more importantly, I am a native of Colorado. If you're new to my channel, all of my videos are here to help you figure out where the best place to move is. If that's something that interests you, please click that subscribe button right there. That way you are notified every time I have a new video. Now, as much as I love making these videos for you, I love helping you more. So my contact information is right there. Please reach out to me anytime. I'd love to talk to you. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about Boulder, Colorado, and the top 5 pros and 5 cons on Boulder. All right, so we're going to start with the cons list. And the top con everybody will tell you is it's expensive. Like, it's really expensive to live in Boulder, and mainly I'm talking about house prices. Now, the median house price in 2022 to live in Boulder is $1.1 million. Now, that's not even going to get you a whole lot. I mean, honestly, that's probably going to get you a house that maybe was built in the 1980s, possibly 90s, 2-car garage, roughly 2,000 square feet. But really, that's it. That's not going to get you some major mansion, nothing like that. And that's the average price to live in Boulder. So that's kind of what you need to know, is that living in Boulder is mainly just to live in Boulder. You're going to be paying for it. You're paying for the name. So keep that in mind. All right, the second con of living in Boulder is that there truly is kind of like this Boulder bubble. And what I mean by that is when you live in Boulder, there's not a whole lot of diversity. Honestly, it's majority white people who live there, so there's definitely not a lot of diversity. It's extremely liberal, so you do have to know that going into it. But it's just kind of like a bubble feeling. Like you kind of feel it even entering Boulder. It's just, there's this whole vibe that Boulder has, and once you live there, there's a lot of times where you really just don't move out. You just become this Boulderite and you never really want to move out. So, you know, that's kind of, a pro or con depending on how you look at it, but just something to be aware of, just because it's just not very diversified. There's just like this feeling once you get there, it's almost, and then you also have like this hippie thing going on out there as well, which is Boulder's definitely well known for, but it's more like a yuppie hippie thing, like people who have a lot of money but are hippies. So it's really hard to explain until you actually go there and witness it. I absolutely love Boulder, but some people might think that this is probably a con, so I do want to mention it. So the third con, and definitely one I want you to be really aware of, is Boulder is definitely prone to wildfires. And it's very unfortunate just because Boulder is so expensive and it is so beautiful to live out there, but they are so prone to wildfires that it's honestly kind of scary sometimes if you do live in parts of the area, that because you might, be around places that do go up in flames because of fires, because it is so dry in Colorado. Last year, exactly a year ago, 2021 in December, we had that major fire in Superior, which is just outside of Boulder. But even since then, we've had several fires actually go on in Boulder. In fact, just a week ago, there was one in Boulder. So do know that if you're going to be living in Boulder, there is a chance. Now, in the heart of the city, most likely, no, you're probably not at risk. But then again, I guess I could have said that about Superior and Louisville last year as well. But do know that, if you're going to live up in the foothills of Boulder, you probably will be paying more in insurance prices just because of fire protection. And it's just kind of a risk that you take on when you live up in the foothills of Boulder. Number 4 is going to be Boulder does tend to get a little bit more snow and wind than some of the other locations within Colorado or within the Denver metro. So do kind of keep that in mind. If you don't like snow or wind for that matter, I would probably stay away from Boulder or even surrounding areas of Boulder, because it does tend to get a little bit more snow. Now, I'm not talking significantly more, but you do get a little bit more. And then also the wind, because the wind does come off of the foothills, so you are going to be a lot more windy over in Boulder, Superior, Louisville, all of those type of areas, because it is coming directly off those foothills and those flat irons. and it's going to hit you really, really hard, opposed to some of the other areas that are not so close to Boulder, I should say. But you know, so if you're thinking that you don't like snow or you don't like that kind of stuff, I would probably stay on the east side of, say, I-25, because you're not going to get nearly as much. You're not as close to the mountain. And then the fifth con, which I'm not even sure it is a con, but I do want to mention it, is obviously Boulder is a college town. We have Colorado, or the University of Colorado out in Boulder. Go Buffs, even though they're not very good. Hopefully they'll be better next year, but you know, it is a college town, so whether or not you want to be part of the college town or live within the college vicinity, that's going to be up to you and what type of lifestyle you are. Obviously, the college students are going to be essentially from fall to May or June, and then they take off for the summer and then come back. So, I mean, the whole population or the whole vibe of Boulder will definitely change in the summertime. While they're there, you might be you might hear parties or anything like that, but I feel like there's certain areas within Boulder that do cater more to the college students. And then if you live in Boulder, you're not necessarily living next to the campus. I mean, maybe if you bought a house there, I suppose. But for the most part, most people who live in Boulder live out on the outskirts of the campus, so you don't really have to worry about it, but definitely you are going to be surrounded by college students, you know, shopping and driving. So, you know, just kind of note that moving in there, I mean, it's a college town. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. All right, so now we're going to our pros list. And Boulder, honestly, me personally, I absolutely love Boulder. I've lived outside of Boulder pretty much my whole life, so I absolutely love Boulder. And the biggest reason I love Boulder is that it is so pretty. I mean, no matter where you are in Boulder, you are going to see these immaculate, you know, foothills and the Flatirons, and just these views are incredible. And it just kind of makes you feel like you're in like this mountain town in a sense. And then, you know, just driving through it, there's just so much outdoor activities year round that you can do. And you will notice that as well, because Boulderites, or even Coloradoans in general, we do tend to do all of those outdoor activities year round. So you are going to be seeing people ride their bikes in December, in January. You are going to see people, you know, rock climbing and whitewater rafting, and even there's tubing down the river to go to work. I mean, there's like a whole day of this. So, I mean, Boulder is definitely known for outdoor activities. That being said, though, I guess the flip side of it with all the outdoor activities is there's not a whole lot of indoor activities. You know, there is occasionally, I mean, there's like a couple movie theaters, I think, but there's not a whole lot of indoor stuff other than maybe dining and shopping, I suppose. So Boulder is definitely catered to the outdoor lifestyle. To kind of piggyback off of that, number 2 pro is that Boulder is one of the healthiest places in the United States, if not the healthiest states in the United States. The obesity out there is significantly low. They're just really, really health conscious. And you will know that just by going to any of the restaurants or the shopping. They're very, you know, everything is organic, and, you know, you don't see a lot of like the fast foods or the processed foods out there. They're very, very health conscious. And then, like I said, they're very active as well. So a lot of people, while there is a lot of traffic and there are a lot of cars, a lot of people actually ride their bikes, they run, they walk everywhere, because they just want to keep that active lifestyle, that healthy lifestyle. So I do think that is a pro, especially if you're that type of person who wants to do that for yourself. Boulder is going to be a perfect place for you to live. Number 3 pro is that Boulder is located in the Boulder Valley School District, and they are actually ranked number 1 in, you know, Denver. So the Denver area schools. So that is amazing. So if you live in Boulder or in Boulder Valley or Boulder County, you're going to be part of the Boulder Valley School Districts, and that is where people actually gravitate to. They absolutely, you know, they want their kids to be part of the school district. They are ranked number 1. So that's just a huge pro when living in this area. So Boulder is actually known as a very foodie area. So I will be honest, I go out to dinner all the time, but I'm not a foodie, so I don't go to all these fancy places, but Boulder is absolutely known for these places. So when I do get to go to some of these places, it is quite a treat. And Boulder is has some amazing restaurants, especially like up and down Pearl Street. Definitely check out Pearl Street. I love the little shopping and the boutiques up and down Pearl Street. I mean, if you're gonna go to Boulder, if you're gonna live in Boulder, you are super lucky because you actually have all of these amazing restaurants and shopping right there at your fingertips that a lot of places around town actually just don't have, unless maybe you go to Denver. Denver obviously has a lot of those cool restaurants, but Boulder actually, I think they're actually known to have more or even better ones. So that is a great little perk that Boulder has to offer. And finally, the fifth pro of living in Boulder is simply its location. I mean, Boulder is, only about 30 minutes to Denver. You're really close to the mountains. Depending on which, maybe ski resort that you want to go skiing at, you could go to Eldora in less than an hour. I mean, that's right up by Netherland. You could get hit other ski resorts like up on the western slopes, say, Breckenridge and Keystone and all that within maybe 2 hours, hour and a half roughly, depending on traffic. You could hit Estes Park if you want to go camping or fishing, or Rocky Mountain National Park within an hour. So, I mean, Boulder as a whole is an amazing location now, but you do have a lot of traffic, in and out on the Boulder Turnpike or Highway 36. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're driving different places. But I mean, there's traffic everywhere nowadays, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. So anyways, that's my list of the top pros and cons of living in Boulder. If you have any questions about Boulder or any other area, please reach out to me anytime. Remember to click that subscribe button right there. That way you are notified every time I have a new video. And then to the next video, take care.